Okay. So come into a seated position. You can bring the bottoms of your feet together. We'll start off in a 5-minute meditation. So there's a couple of things you can do. You can place a block at your feet. You can place blocks underneath your knees if you want to make this more restorative. So find what you need. Sit up nice and tall. And what I want you to do is to bring all your fingertips together, touching like this. And then have it come down to about your sacral chakra area. Just sacral, little solar plexus. And hang out here in this mudra. But if it's not your jam, you can always set your hand down to the side. What this does is it creates a connection between the left and the right. And the solar plexus is a source of creativity. So hopefully we can create a connection between the left and the right and focus in a creative practice. So sit up nice and tall. Take a few inhales and exhales in through the nose. If you want, you can always exhale out through your mouth and make it audible. In these last few minutes of our meditation, try to see if you can extend the breath. So take a full inhale, and at the top of your inhale, maybe take in just a little bit more. And then with control, slowly exhale out. 30 seconds left. Then on your next breath, slowly release. Okay, make your way onto your knees and then set your bum onto your heels. It's for a hero pose. And this might be a case where you use a block, or you can use a blanket. We'll be here for 3 minutes. And while you're here, placing your hands on your knees, or on your thighs, sorry. So place your hand on your thighs to ground down. Come up nice and tall with a nice straight spine. Crown of the head reaches up. Find some stillness here for the next 3 minutes. If you want, you can focus the breath back in the solar plexus or the sacral chakra area. So pushing the belly out as you inhale and letting it fall back in as you exhale. Entering the last 30 seconds of this pose. And then slowly remove any props that you're sitting on. Well, you might need them too. If you have a block, you might need them. Turn your feet out and then Maybe walk your legs out a little bit so your bum comes down. And that's where the block might be handy. So the bum can come in between the feet, or you can use the block to sit on. So you're in a full saddle pose here. I'm staying here to mind the time, but some people may feel like they want to recline back. So you can start on your forearms, or maybe come all the way down. Whatever works for you. And we'll be here for 3 minutes. So find a spot where you can have some comfort and ease and stillness. And you can stay in saddle or recline back. And focus back on the breath, coming in and out, pushing the belly. You're about halfway through. Try to see if you need to soften. Focus on your breath. Take a nice full inhale. Slowly exhale. And begin to walk yourself forward. Come into hands and knees pose. Just for a brief minute, maybe pat the feet out. And then come back seated and then swing your legs out in front of you. And even here, you might feel like you need to move your legs around or maybe go from side to side. If you want, you can place a bolster underneath your knees. Okay. You're going to come into a caterpillar pose for the next 5 minutes, so a seated forward fold. So make any adjustments that you need that you can root down onto your sit bones. Your feet are rooted into the mat by the heels and the toes are coming up towards the ceiling. So you might want to have a block at your feet as well. And when you're ready, reach your arms up high to the sky. Fold forward as you exhale. And even while you're here, you might want to place something onto your thighs so you can rest your forehead. Have a connection. That's more restorative. Be supported. Okay, find a sweet spot for you. And it may be difficult because you're in the forward fold, but still try to focus on keeping the belly breath here. So feeling the belly as it moves on your body when you breathe. And let's find some stillness now. You're about halfway there. So do a little body scan here and notice where you have any tension. See if you can release it. Notice too if you're bringing the shoulders or the scapulas up towards the ears. Just try to slide them down a little bit. Give yourself some space in your throat. And if you'd like, maybe you can fold a little deeper. This is the last 30 seconds of this pose. See if you can deepen your breath. And then slowly start walking yourself up. Cool. Okay. Bring your left knee in, and left foot is going to come into the inside of the right thigh. And then take your right leg out like a check mark. Come up nice and tall, move any love that you have. Keep your right toes pointed up towards the ceiling. Reach your arms up high to the sky. And then fold forward down the center of the mat for half butterfly pose for 2 minutes. And 1 minute left. And then ever so slowly take a full cycle of breath here. Maybe exhale out audibly. And walk your hands up. Come up nice and tall. Bring the bottoms of your feet together like a book. And just see if you notice the difference between left and right. And then keep your right knee bent. Right foot comes to the inside of the left leg, and then take the left leg out to the side like a check mark. Keep your left toes pointed up. Reach your arms up high. And then fold forward down the middle. Where you'll be for the next 2 minutes. 1 minute left. Let your next cycle of breath be long and deep so that your inhale can guide you up. Sitting up nice and tall. And then come back into butterfly pose just for a breath and see if you notice there's equanimity between left and right. Cool. All right, when you're ready, bring your legs out to the side and slowly make your way onto your belly. If you want, on your belly, you can always have a blanket, like about where your hip is, hip bone, and your stomach. You can always have something out in front of you as well. So from here, place your elbows underneath your shoulders and root your forearms onto the mat. Tops of the feet are touching the mat. And if you don't have anything underneath your torso, shift around so that your hip bones are even. And maybe you even feel the pubic bone touching the mat as well. And then ground down your hands. Slide the shoulders or the scapulas away from the ears. And then slowly start externally rotating the shoulders open. The hands are planted and the shoulders are open. So this is a gentle heart opener. It's Sphinx pose, and you'll be here for the next 3 minutes. So while you're here, you can still focus on the breath coming from the sacral chakra or the stomach area. So as you inhale, you'll feel the belly push into the mat. As you exhale, you'll feel the belly pull into the spine. But at the same time, I want you to root down through the crown as you inhale. And as you exhale, bring the shoulders down and away. Okay, here we go. One more minute left. 15 seconds left. And then as you exhale, slowly bring your forearms in, or turn your elbows out so your forearms are flat and your hands are stacked on top of each other. And place your forehead onto your mat. Bend your knees so your heels are up to the sky. And windshield wiper your legs gently from side to side. Nothing big, just little movement. And then bring both legs down. All right, bring your left knee to about hip height. Turn your left foot out so you're in your frog pose. So the inner thigh or the inner part of the leg is connected onto the mat, and it's like you're creating this L shape from the left hip to the left knee. And then another L as the left knee goes down to the ankle and the toes turn out for your half frog pose. And you could always place a blanket underneath your knee if you would like. Prop yourself up and you'll be here for the next 5 minutes. So you can place your forehead on stacked hands or your chin. Once again, feeling the belly as you breathe. Let's begin. Entering in the last 15 seconds. And then slowly bring your left leg long behind you. Find some stillness. And then bring the elbows back underneath the shoulders, forearms are onto the mat. You can stay here in Sphinx pose, or you can grab a hold of opposite elbows. Walk the elbows out a little bit, walk the arms out. Place the hands down, turn the wrist out, and come up for a seal pose. So finding where you need to be, and then always grabbing a hold of opposite elbows and using that to walk your arms in or away from the body. So find the sweet spot for you, where you can come up nice and tall. For the next 3 minutes, really focus on sliding the scapulas down and away, keeping the glutes relaxed. And settle into your breath. Halfway through. During the last 30 seconds of this pose. So be sure that you're softening, not holding any tension. And then completing whatever cycle of breath you're on, mindfully coming down. Once again, turning the elbows out and stacking the hands on top of each other. Place the forehead onto the mat. Bend the knees so the feet are high to the sky. And windshield wiper from side to side, so slowly. It's just a soft drizzle. And then find some stillness again. And then bring the right knee to the outside of the right hip, coming into half frog on the other side. Bolstering the right knee if you need to. Make sure you're turning the right foot out. Knowing that you'll be here for the next 5 minutes. And find stillness with the head, with the chin rested on the hands or the forehead rested on the hands. You have about 2 minutes left. You're entering the last 15 seconds. And then slowly bring your right leg long behind you. Place your hands underneath your shoulders. Come up into a plank pose and then downward dog. So you'll be in this downward dog for 3 minutes. If you want, you can place your forearms onto the ground and come into a forearm dog. So suss around, find your dog, and let's begin. Once again, even though your belly isn't touching the ground, and it probably doesn't have a lot of connection with your body, see if you can still keep the breath coming from the belly here. 1 minute left. And then slowly bring your right leg high to the sky and step your right foot to the outside of your right hand. Drop your left knee down and decide if you need to walk your left knee back just a little bit to give a deeper stretch in your quad, or maybe bring your knee forward a little bit to ease it into the front of the hip. Find a spot where your right foot is rooted down, and then untuck your left foot so the top of the left foot is engaged onto your mat. For your dragon pose, you will be here for the next 3 minutes. So you can stay here. You can come onto forearms. If you want, you can bring the right arm under and around the right leg. You're in a little low dragon. But wherever you're at, try to keep all points of the right foot engaged into the mat. And try not to let the right knee drop off. Last 30 seconds. Finish whatever cycle of breath you're on. And then use your inhale to come up slowly so you're on your hands if you were on your forearms. Exhale. And then inhale, slowly start taking the bum back to the left heel as the right heel plants and the right toe comes up. So you're in a half split pose, but you're kind of also in that half saddle pose, like in the beginning. So you can come up nice and tall and walk down the middle. Or you can always bring the right leg more into center and frame the right leg and then fold over. Okay? So there's no right or wrong. You're in your nice half split pose. And you'll be here for the next 2 minutes. Try to keep your right toes pointed up towards the ceiling. Make sure you're not holding any tension in the hips. One more minute left. When your next inhale happens, slowly walk yourself forward again. So you're back in your dragon pose. And then heel toe your right foot across the mat so your right shin lays down. And now you're in your swan pose or pigeon. Bolster anything you need here. So you will be up high for the first 2 minutes. So the hands are rooted down underneath the shoulders. Look forward. If you want to, you can have the grounding, but if you want to have more of a heart opening, bring the arms behind you and interlace the fingers and make a fist. Yeah. And pull the heart open. So find what you need. And then as you exhale, slowly start walking yourself down, coming into your sleeping swan. You can use blocks to prop up and place your forehead on. Or maybe you want a bolster. But you'll be here for the next 3 minutes. Entering your last minute. And then complete your cycle of breath. If you want to make your exhale audible, that's awesome. And then begin to walk yourself up. Hands are back underneath your shoulders. Tuck under left toes, lift the left knee, send the right leg back into your downward dog, and find some stillness here for a minute. We just want to use this downward dog to reset. And then the left leg comes high to the sky. Left foot comes to the outside of the left hand. Drop your right knee and then make a choice. Do you need length in your right quad, or do you need to bring the right knee up a little bit to soften? And then once you find the sweet spot there, untuck your right toes and have the top of your right foot on the mat. Root down through your left foot, knowing that you're going to be here for 3 minutes in your dragon pose. Make a choice of where you need to be. Maybe it's down on the forearms, maybe bringing the left arm underneath and around and on top. And come into stillness. You're entering about the last 30 seconds of this pose. complete your cycle of breath and use your inhale to place your hands onto the mat. And then slowly take the bum back to the right heel. Straighten your left leg. Left toes come up high to the sky. Maybe you come up nice and tall first and then fold forward. Always knowing that the other variation of bringing the left leg in is there, framing the left leg. And you'll be here for the next 2 minutes. Fifteen more seconds left. And then slowly use your inhale to walk yourself back into your dragon pose. And then heel toe your left foot over to the right side of your mat so that your left shin comes down. Make any adjustments you need, bolster hips, knees. Placing your hands underneath your shoulders, or you can always bring the hands behind the back and open up the heart deeper. Yogi's choice. Knowing you'll be here for the next 2 minutes. Take a full inhale and use your exhale to sink down into your sleeping swan for the next 3 minutes. Halfway there. Take one full cycle of breath. Use your next inhale to guide yourself up. Tuck under right toes and place your left knee onto the mat and come into a child's pose here. So the knees could be together or wide. And settle in for the next minute. And then use your inhale to come forward. So you're on your stomach. And then once you're on your stomach, flip over onto your back. Place your feet flat onto your mat and arms come down to the side. Walk your heels in so you feel your fingers brush your heels. And this is going to be a low bridge. So before you push yourself up, I want you to lift and slide the scapulas underneath and maybe move the head from side to side so that you can keep your gaze forward. And then root down through your feet, lift your hips. If you want, you can stack a block or stack your hands underneath your low back or a low bridge. Halfway there. Keep rooting your feet down. Keep the glutes relaxed. And then remove anything from your low back. Slowly lower down one vertebra at a time. Hug the knees into the chest. Give yourself a gentle rock from side to side before you come into your Shavasana pose. So extend one leg long, then the other, and get yourself cozy. I will mind the time for you and will call you back. All right, yogis. If you want, stay here, and I'll send you on your way. If you're ready to come out of your Shavasana, slowly make your way onto your right side. Push yourself up into a seated position. And place one hand on your stomach and one hand on your heart. This is true for anyone who's decided to stay supine or lying down. Once again, just take a few cycles of breath, feeling how the belly pushes into the hand and how the hand falls with the belly as you exhale.
the light and love in me acknowledges and honors the light and love in you. Namaste.